The International Geographic Organization in 2000 and coincides with the limits set by the Antarctic Treaty. The Antarctic Ocean next to the Arctic are the only ones to circle the globe completely. It completely surrounds Antarctica. It has an area of 2,032,000 kilometers, a figure that includes the Perhaps Seas, the Amount Seas, the Bellingshausen Seas, part of Drake Passage, the Ross Sea, and the Weddell Sea. The main line is visible on the ocean with 11,000 kilometers of coastline. The Atlantic Ocean is the smallest of the world oceans. It surrounds the North Pole and extends to the North Europe, Asia, and America. It occupies an extension of about 14 million kilometers and the hundreds meters on the continental shelf. Behind it, average of 11,000 meters, this ocean takes contact with the Atlantic Ocean from the north, receiving large masses of water through the Strait of North, reviving large masses of water through the Strait of Farm and the Brett Seas. It also in contact with the Pacific through the Bering Straits between Russia and Alaska. Ocean ecosystem. The ocean ecosystem is unique among aquatic ecosystems because the amount of salt water required to maintain the balance the landscape is greater than the amount of fresh water needed. Ocean ecosystem has distinct characteristics and contain various forms of life which are only found in the environmental, but they do have much in common with other aquatic ecosystems.
The Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean on Earth. It extends approximately 15 million kilometers from the Bering Sea in the Arctic to the north, to the frozen margins of the Ross Sea in Antarctica to the south. It contains over 25 million islands, almost all of which are located in the south of the equator. The Mariana Trench is found in the Pacific and it is the lowest point of the surface on the Earth's crust. The Pacific covers an area of approximately 20% of the Earth's surface. The Atlantic Ocean separates America, Europe, and Africa. It extends from the Arctic Ocean in the north to Antarctica in the south. The Indian Ocean is the third largest volume of water in the world, having approximately 20% of the Earth's surface. It is delimited to the north by the South of Asia, to the last by the Malaya Peninsula and the Australia, and to the south by Antarctica. The Antarctic extends from the Antarctic coast to 16 limits with Atlantic Ocean, Pacific and Indian Ocean. It is the penultimate ocean in the extension.
El Niño phenomenon. El Niño is a climate cycle in the Pacific Ocean with a global impact on weather patterns. The cycle begins when warm water in the western tropical Pacific Ocean shifts eastward along the equator towards the coast of South Africa. Normally, this warm water pots near Indonesia and the Philippines. Forecasters declare an official El Niño when they see the both ocean temperatures and rainfalls from the storms bear to the east. Its name refers to the baby Jesus because this phenomenon occurs approximately at Christmas time in the Pacific Ocean. Along the coast of South Africa, the name of the phenomenon is Oscilación del Sur, El Niño, ENSO for its acronym in English. It is a syndrome that has occurred for more than 7 millennia. Meteorologist Abraham Levy points out that this phenomenon occurs because the seawater, which is traditionally cold in autumn and winter, is heated, and this also brings an increase in the general temperatures of the air. Warm water currents that are not on the surface of the sea travel below the sea. From Australia to Peru, it's a process that began in January and lasts 3 months, so they arrive in the last days of March. From the moment the warm waters enter our beaches from in north extending along the entire Peruvian coast, usually during April. Some of the consequences are heavy rains, species died because they don't adapt to the change of temperature, heating of the Humboldt Current or Current of Peru, diseases such as cholera arise, which sometimes transpire in epidemics, fishing losses, intense cloud formation, very wet periods, and lost atmospheric pressure.
An ocean current is a seasonal directed movement of seawater generated by forces acting upon this mean flow, such as breaking waves, wind, the Coriolis effect, cabling, temperature, and salinity differences, while tides are caused by the gravitational pull of the sun and moon. Depth contours, shoreline configurations, and interaction with the other currents influence a current's direction and strength. Therefore, ocean currents are primarily horizontal water movements. As we know, ocean currents affected by land winds affect climate in coastal regions. These winds help bring rain because they carry humidity, and high mountains act as barriers to cold or hot winds. Therefore, they can also cause precipitation. Along with this, altitude, latitude, and distance from the sea affect climate, and climate affects people. The rather popular claim that the character of people and the climate are well tied has been demonstrated in recent studies. Panic attack, periods of anguish, headaches, behavioral disorders, etc. are some of the symptoms that affect us. The oceanic circulation, which moves large amounts of water over long distances, has constancy as a feature and is created by interaction of two different types of currents, drag and density. A good example of this current is the Gulf Stream, which moves northeast from the Gulf of Mexico and reaches the coast of all Europe. Drag currents are born on the surface of the oceans and are created by a constant action of the wind on a large body of water. An example of this current is seen in the Alisios, responsible for movement of large amount of water in the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans in a westerly direction. The action of the gravitational force of the moon and also of the sun causes the tides, creating great differences in the level of the sea. This gives rise to the currents of the tides. In this case, its intensity is reinforced near the coast, becoming dangerous in narrow areas but less relevant as we enter the sea.
An ocean is a body of land water that composes much of the planet's hydrosphere. On Earth, an ocean is one of the major conventional divisions of the world ocean. These are in descending order by area: the Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Antarctic, and Arctic Ocean. Saline water covers approximately 360 million, and it customarily divided into several principal oceans and smaller seas, with the ocean covering approximately 71% of the Earth's surface and 19% of the Earth's biosphere. The ocean contains 97% of the Earth's water, and oceanographers have stated that less than 5% of the world ocean has been created by several physical phenomena, mostly from the movement of tectonic plates and sediment from various sources. The structure of the ocean begins from the continents, the continental shelf, and the continental slope, which is a previous zone, that deep ocean, until reaching the abyssal plain. There are several accidents on the ocean floor that come mostly from the residual relief of volcanic of tectonic origin, such as volcanic islands, atolls, coyotes, and that were eroded on the surface and or sand by subside with the expansion of the ocean plates. The depth of ocean is variable depending on the area of the oceanic relief, but it is scarce. It is estimated that the average depth is approximately 3,900 meters. The deepest part is found in the Mariana Trench, reaching 11,34 meters deep.